At the end of episode 151, just as Wong Lin and Li Yuan went their separate ways, Wong Lin immediately began carrying out his plan to test the immortals and set a trap for the Blood Ancestor. The special episode, The Battle of Testing the Immortals, then begins with Wong Lin appearing in a desolate place where he entered secluded cultivation. Not long afterward, Wong Lin opened his eyes and slapped his storage bag, taking out the sphere imprisoning Yao Xishui, along with the storage bag bearing her imprint. Without bothering to question her any further, he waved his hand and threw the sphere containing Yao Xishui deep into a distant mountain range to serve as bait. Wong Lin then stood up and flew directly toward the teleportation formation left behind by Li Yuan. Looking at it, Wong Lin calmly stepped inside while muttering inwardly, "Blood Ancestor, since you refuse to let Wong off, then Wong will carry out one round of testing the immortals, just as Li Yuan said." As soon as his voice faded, golden light enveloped him, and Wong Lin disappeared. Not long afterward, when the golden light flashed again, Wong Lin stepped out of the teleportation formation. The ripples of shattered space faded, revealing an unfamiliar land before him. At this point, Wong Lin could not help but admire Li Yuan's extraordinary talent and restrictions. He waved his hand, shrinking the teleportation formation into a crystal and storing it in his storage bag before rapidly flying into the distance. Not long afterward, Wong Lin descended deep underground and hid Yao Xishui's storage bag, which could not be opened, while placing several layers of restrictions around it for protection. After concealing it carefully to prevent his location from being exposed, he traveled underground to a distant plane before speeding away, avoiding any possibility of revealing the hiding place. Soon afterward, on the new continent, Wong Lin immediately burrowed deep underground and concealed his aura. He then formed hand seals and struck several marks into the Immortal Guard. In an instant, his body disappeared into the earth while his primordial spirit entered the Immortal Guard. In the blink of an eye, Wong Lin, in the form of an Immortal Guard, shot straight up to the surface. This time, he intended to use the Immortal Guard's body to lure out the Blood Ancestor. Time passed, and over the next 5 months, Wong Lin, disguised as an Immortal Guard, deliberately moved around the vicinity of the place where he had set his trap. The Immortal Guard's sturdy body possessed an aura comparable to the Yin Void realm, causing even late-stage and Great Circle cultivators of the Ascendant realm, as well as other Yin Void cultivators, to remain wary and avoid him. At the same time, the Blood Ancestor, dressed in a red robe, was traveling through the void at an astonishing speed, moving almost like teleportation, when the Blood Ancestor landed on a continent and spread his divine sense across the area. He immediately detected Wong Lin's aura. His face became covered in a layer of icy coldness, filled with intense killing intent, causing a nearby mountain to explode into dust. He roared in hatred, "Wong Lin!" As soon as the words left his mouth, he shot forward like lightning. At that exact moment, Wong Lin, still inside the Immortal Guard, happened to arrive as well. The instant he appeared, the entire sky darkened, rolling black clouds gathered overhead, and the terrifying pressure of the Blood Ancestor descended. Wong Lin stopped in midair, stared into the distance, and sneered, "You finally came?" Immediately afterward, thunderous explosions shook the sky as blood-red clouds descended. Brilliant red light condensed into the figure of a middle-aged man dressed in a red robe, the Blood Ancestor himself. Without wasting a single word, the Blood Ancestor immediately raised his right hand and pointed directly at Wong Lin's brow. When his fingertip was only 3 inches away, Wong Lin stared at the Blood Ancestor and slowly said, "If you take my life, then even with the Blood Soul Pill, Yao Xishui will certainly die." As soon as he finished speaking, there was a loud bang. Wong Lin was struck and coughed up blood. His body blasted hundreds of meters away. The Immortal Guard's body was battered and heavily injured. Yet a dark smile appeared at the corner of Wong Lin's mouth. The Blood Ancestor stepped forward and coldly shouted, "I'll give you 3 sentences. Speak." Wong Lin replied, "I thought Senior Blood Ancestor would truly strike with all his strength. Ignoring Yao Xishui's life and destroying this avatar of mine, you have 2 sentences left. Senior, Yao Xishui is still safe. I can hand her over so the 2 of you can reunite. However, Senior must let me leave and swear that you will never trouble me again." Hearing this, the Blood Ancestor withdrew his gaze and calmly made an oath that he would not take Wong Lin's life if he could get his daughter back. After the oath, Wong Lin nodded and opened his mouth. spitting out a crystal. As soon as the crystal touched the ground, it transformed into a flickering teleportation formation that seemed on the verge of collapse. Wong Lin declared that Yao Xishui was inside the formation, then immediately transformed into a streak of rainbow light and sped away without playing any further tricks. Watching Wong Lin flee, the Blood Ancestor approached the teleportation formation. He reached out and grabbed it, causing the formation to shatter into countless points of light before condensing back into a crystal in his hand. After accurately sensing Yao Xishui's aura inside, the Blood Ancestor turned around and muttered darkly, his heart filled with hatred. You imprisoned my daughter for hundreds of years, and with just a few words you expect this old man to let you go. I refuse to believe there is no way for me to take your life. With that, the Blood Ancestor took one step forward, carrying the killing intent that had accumulated over hundreds of years as he pursued Wong Lin. As Wong Lin fled through the void along a chain of lightning, he sensed the overwhelming killing intent approaching from behind and immediately increased his speed. The Blood Ancestor quickly closed the distance and slammed his right hand downward. Instantly, the void froze, the lightning chain beneath Wong Lin's feet exploded, and a vast sea of blood surged forward, instantly surrounding his entire body. After doing so, the Blood Ancestor shouted, "Refine!" The blood-colored energy immediately entered the Immortal Guard's body and began crazily devouring Wong Lin's primordial spirit avatar. At the same time, the Blood Ancestor tore open the void and rushed directly toward the location where Wong Lin's true body was hiding deep underground on the neighboring continent, intending to eliminate him completely. At Wong Lin's hiding place, a red beam of light suddenly condensed from the ground into a crimson needle and stabbed downward toward him. At the critical moment, Wong Lin's true body suddenly opened his eyes, shot out of the ground, dodged the deadly attack, and hurriedly crushed the restriction crystal given to him by Li Yuan, activating the collapse of half of the restrictions within the storage space. At the same time, Wong Lin's primordial spirit avatar inside the Immortal Guard puppet cried out in pain, shouting, "Blood Ancestor, I wonder whether your daughter will be able to remain safe and sound amid the collapse of the void." Upon hearing this, the Blood Ancestor's expression changed dramatically as he sensed the destructive fluctuations emanating from the teleportation crystal in his hand. Without having time to deal with Wong Lin's avatar or the Immortal Guard body, he immediately tossed the crystal into the air and struck it with a sealing mark to reinforce it and activate the teleportation formation. Despite the surging aura of destruction pouring outward, the Blood Ancestor stepped directly inside. The moment he stepped into the Immortal's storage space, the terrifying sense of mortal danger that had haunted Blood Ancestor for countless years made his scalp go numb and his heart pound violently. He clearly understood that once the storage space collapsed, everything inside would be crushed. His only hope of survival was to swallow all the blood soul pills at once. Blood Ancestor ground his teeth and roared furiously. Damn it, how did this bastard manage to find a storage space? Even Tian Yunzi would have to rely on luck to find a place like this. Wong Lin, I will never coexist with you under the same sky. After saying this, he rushed straight toward the valley, obtained the restriction sealing sphere containing Yao Xishui, and hurriedly put it away without having time to undo the seal. At the same time, outside the storage space, Wong Lin formed hand seals and activated all the more than 1,000 remaining restrictions, causing them to explode. In an instant, the space inside the storage bag completely collapsed. After accomplishing this, Wong Lin said coldly, "You want to take my life? Then I will execute the immortal slaughtering technique and make sure you die here." With that, Wong Lin consecutively pointed at himself 9 times, increasing his speed as he fled. Inside, as the storage bag collapsed, Blood Ancestor could only clutch the sphere imprisoning Yao Xishui and madly rush toward the teleportation formation. He roared with murderous intent, "Wong Lin, if this old man manages to escape, whether I ascend to the heavens or descend into hell, I swear I will take your life." Just as Blood Ancestor was about to step out of the teleportation formation, Wong Lin, through his final connection with the Immortal Guard, saw Blood Ancestor's figure beginning to condense. Knowing that Blood Ancestor's escape would certainly place him in grave danger, Wong Lin decisively sent a divine sense transmission to the Immortal Guard. "I cannot fulfill the 1,000-year promise I made to you. I, Wong, will make it up to you in the future." As soon as he finished speaking, the Immortal Guard's body erupted with dazzling golden light and self-destructed. The remaining 4 portions of destructive force from the explosion surged forward, shattering the teleportation formation and forcing Blood Ancestor back into the collapsing space. At this point, trapped in a desperate situation, Blood Ancestor crushed Yao Shishui's restriction sphere and released the entirety of his mid-stage pure nirvana cultivation to resist the black flames, creating a 3-zhong-wide safe zone that allowed his daughter's divine sense to escape. Not long afterward, Yao Shishui's divine sense descended onto the land of the demon spirit realm, the place where she had once swallowed the blood soul pills, with an expression filled with sorrow. Remaining inside the storage space, Blood Ancestor saw that his daughter was safe. He revealed the gentle smile of a father before being completely engulfed by the black flames. He took out the last 3 blood soul pills and crushed them. Blue liquid poured out and mixed with the black flames, causing the entire storage space and everything within it to completely dissolve and collapse without leaving a trace. Outside, on a fragment of the continent, the red needle that had been following Wong Lin suddenly stopped and slowly collapsed, causing Wong Lin to breathe a sigh of relief. However, just as it was about to disappear, the semi-transparent red needle suddenly trembled, turned around, and shot rapidly into the distance. Wong Lin was startled and exclaimed, "That bastard is still alive?" He carefully observed it and realized that Blood Ancestor was indeed still alive. Although he had been weakened to an extreme degree, Wong Lin rushed forward, spat out a mouthful of essence qi from his primordial spirit to form a cage around the needle, and shouted, "Seal!" Then, gritting his teeth, he threw the red needle forward, allowing it to fly on its own toward its master, while he accelerated and followed closely behind, intending to take advantage of the opportunity to kill Blood Ancestor and eliminate this future threat once and for all. Meanwhile, in a region of emptiness within the Thunder Immortal realm, countless tiny blood-colored droplets flickered with blue light as they floated in the void. They were the result of the secret technique, divine fusion into blood, combined with the 3 blood soul pills, which had allowed Blood Ancestor to preserve his life. For 3 months, the blood-colored droplets slowly drew toward one another, completing 60% of their fusion, while Blood Ancestor's primordial spirit began to show signs of awakening. At that very moment, an absent-minded old man with white hair rode toward them on Wong Lin's silver-horned thunderbeast, with countless frightened thunderbeasts following behind him. The old man gleefully mentioned the words, "fated connection," causing the thunder beast beneath him to tremble. Seeing the blood-colored droplets in the distance, the old man recognized the Yao family's secret technique and reached out to grab them, forcibly merging all the blood-colored fragments into one and immediately awakening Blood Ancestor's primordial spirit. Blood Ancestor calmly maintained his divine sense and expressed his thanks while mentioning the Yao family. The old man sneered and casually revealed that forcibly merging the fragments had caused Blood Ancestor's cultivation to plummet disastrously to the late stage of nirvana insight. When Blood Ancestor suppressed his anger and asked to leave, the old man declared that the 2 of them were fated, and demanded to repay this favor. Immediately afterward, the old man tore Blood Ancestor's primordial spirit in half, dividing the blood-colored mass into 2 portions. He took 1/2 of the primordial spirit and blood body for his own purposes, while with the other half, he blew a breath that sent it into a deep sleep before scattering it into the void. Having finished, the old man calmly rode away on the thunderbeast, returning to Wong Lin. While following the red needle, he saw it erupt with red light, break free from the seal, then become faint and weak as it sped forward. Wong Lin endured the pain and accelerated in pursuit. The red needle moved faster and faster until Wong Lin gradually could no longer keep up. Then he suddenly stopped and fixed his gaze ahead. In the void, more than 10 blood spheres of various sizes were revolving around one another. The red needle flashed and merged into one of the blood spheres, causing it to twist and writhe abnormally before madly devouring the surrounding blood spheres. Killing intent erupted from Wong Lin as he shouted, "Blood Ancestor?" Without hesitation, he threw out the stone soul mountain, smashing it down, while simultaneously drawing the immortal sword and executing the Zan Luo art, slashing down with a sword that tore apart the momentum of the blood sphere's fusion. The enormous thunderous might within Wong Lin's primordial spirit erupted violently, sending fierce bolts of lightning crashing into the mass of blood spheres. He swung the immortal sword and unleashed a second slash, causing one blood sphere to collapse as Blood Ancestor's miserable groan echoed through the void. The remaining spheres frantically gathered together, attempting to awaken Blood Ancestor's primordial spirit immediately. Knowing that this was his final opportunity, Wong Lin gritted his teeth, spat out a mouthful of blood-colored essence, and roared as he cast the body-fixing technique, binding Blood Ancestor's primordial spirit for an instant. At that very moment, the Karma Rod, the Extreme Immortal, and the final sword chi of the Ling Tianhu combined with the entirety of the thunderous power within Wong Lin's primordial spirit and erupted in a violent explosion, striking directly at the center of the condensing blood sphere. Boom! The fused blood sphere exploded violently, accompanied by Blood Ancestor's unwilling scream. Amid the collapse, Blood Ancestor's primordial spirit wrapped itself around a portion of the blood droplets and fled at terrifying speed, while the remaining half of the blood droplets self-destructed and shot directly toward Wong Lin. The droplets penetrated his body through every pore, creating excruciating pain and an enormous impact that sent Wong Lin unconscious, crashing deep into a floating fragment of the continent drifting through the void. Under Shu Leguo's control, the immortal sword frantically followed with the Stone Soul Mountain, desperately flying after him to protect him. The half of the blood essence that entered Wong Lin's body contained an enormous amount of origin force, combined with the burning aura that the old man riding the Thunder Beast had inadvertently injected into Wong Lin earlier. It created a rare opportunity that gradually opened a path for him toward the third step of cultivation. While Wong Lin's avatar remained unconscious and was enveloped by the origin force, his cultivation was pushed directly into the Yin Void realm, causing tribulation clouds to appear. At the same time, Blood Ancestor had lost all reason. He roared madly in the void. Wong Lin, I will never coexist with you under the same sky. I would rather not heal my injuries and take your life. With that, he turned around and rushed toward the direction where Wong Lin had disappeared, determined to kill him. On the fragment of the continent, Wong Lin's avatar closed his eyes and regulated his cultivation while the immortal sword circled around him protectively. Shu Leguo stood nearby, sighing repeatedly and congratulating himself on his own wisdom for choosing to stay and earn merit. At the same time, he trembled and dared not betray Wong Lin, remembering Wong Lin's ancient god true body. Meanwhile, on an abandoned planet belonging to the Alliance Star Domain, Wong Lin's true body, his hair blazing red and 4 points of ancient god light shining between his brows, suddenly opened his eyes. He slowly stood up and roared, "Blood Ancestor, you forced Wang's clone into unconsciousness. How could I possibly let this matter go?" Wong Lin's main body let out a roar that shook the ancient world and exploded out of the planet. His body transformed, reaching a height of several hundred zhang, the true form of a 4-star ancient god. Standing in the starry sky, his presence caused countless ferocious beasts on the surrounding planets to collapse to their knees in trembling fear. Killing intent surged within Wong Lin as he shouted, "Blood Ancestor, you severely wounded my clone and forced him into unconsciousness. Then I will destroy your blood crystal." With that, Wong Lin tapped his glabella, disguising himself as a giant body of the giant demon clan, while simultaneously dragging along 100 zhang long river of shattered rocks to use as a weapon. Several months later, he approached Blood Crystal, the cave-dwelling planet of Blood Ancestor. At this moment, because Blood Ancestor had been weakened inside the Thunder Immortal realm, countless blood slaves and blood guards had exploded and died. 4 old men with great divine abilities, along with countless blood slaves, rebelled, broke free from Zixin, and frantically fled in search of freedom. As soon as Wong Lin landed, he paid no attention to the fleeing blood slaves. Instead, he grabbed the fragments of rock with his enormous hands and repeatedly smashed them down onto Blood Crystal. After half an incense stick of time, the blood-colored protective barrier was shattered, reducing the planet to ruins. Zixin panicked and activated the entrance to the Blood Pavilion in an attempt to escape. But she triggered a trap filled with red light. Her body and primordial spirit immediately dissolved into wisps of smoke. Wong Lin tore the entire 100 zhang wide area of the Blood Pavilion from the ground, smashed it into the earth of Blood Crystal, then stomped down and flew into the starry sky. The blood slaves watching from afar respectfully cupped their fists and saw Wong Lin off. Then they erupted in joy, celebrating their freedom and returning to their homelands. After leveling Blood Crystal, Wong Lin shrank his body and concealed his aura on a 6th-level cultivation planet. Meanwhile, inside the Thunder Immortal realm, The clouds of heavenly tribulation gathered and poured down upon Wong Lin's clone, unintentionally tempering a piece of the immortal realm into an exquisite treasure refined by heaven itself. Blood Ancestor watched from afar, bitter and resentful, while secretly hoping that the heavenly tribulation would blast Wong Lin into pieces so that he could seize this treasure. However, just as the strongest bolt of black lightning descended, Wong Lin's clone suddenly opened his eyes and welcomed it head-on. The black lightning acted as the ultimate catalyst, forcing the aura of the mysterious old man and half of the blood body to completely dissolve and fuse together. A tremendous source of origin energy erupted, pushing the clone's cultivation forward and allowing it to break into the yin void realm. Wong Lin absorbed all the lightning radiance and immortal realm laws into his body. The fragment of land transformed into a stream of precious light and entered his body, becoming his life-bound immortal treasure. Wong Lin stepped out from the spatial rift, his black hair billowing in the wind, his sharp gaze locked directly onto Blood Ancestor, and he curled his lips into a cold smile, mocking the old man's patience. Blood Ancestor was so furious that he nearly vomited blood. He realized that once again, he had helped his enemy break through a realm while losing another treasure to him. Wong Lin did not linger, combining his instantaneous movement divine ability with the power of his immortal treasure. He tore open space, fled, and disappeared into hidden ancient formations. After stabilizing his yin void cultivation and restoring his spiritual connection with his ancient god main body, the two bodies became one again. Wong Lin prepared for the next stage of his journey within the Thunder Immortal realm. Despite the demonic sounds and lightning creating countless illusions, Wong Lin's mind remained as firm as iron and stone. He coldly shouted, "Disperse for me," and shattered all the demonic sounds. A seven-colored bolt of lightning, the supreme form of the heavenly tribulation, pierced through space and crashed directly down from the top of Wong Lin's head. The berserk power surged into his body and struck directly at his primordial spirit. The remaining half of the blood body and the stream of origin aura belonging to the old man riding the thunder beast immediately erupted completely under the stimulation of the seven-colored lightning, transforming into an ocean of origin energy. The primordial spirit of the ancient thunder dragon roared and swallowed the entire ocean of origin energy. The immortal power was completely converted into pure origin energy, allowing Wong Lin's cultivation to break through the boundary of the peak yin void realm and advance straight toward the threshold of the yang solid realm. Blood Ancestor trembled all over as he stood outside the layer of tribulation clouds. His eyes seemed ready to split apart as he roared in hatred. "Wong Lin, I swear that I will never coexist with you under the same sky." Despite his words, he was completely helpless and did not dare to enter the area of the heavenly tribulation. Standing upon the treasured land, Wong Lin drew the seven-colored radiance into his glabella, emitting the majestic aura of a second-step cultivator. As he watched the tribulation clouds disperse, he revealed a cold smile, turned around, and looked directly toward Blood Ancestor. "Senior Blood Ancestor, thank you for the origin energy you provided, which helped Wong achieve this breakthrough. The battle between us has only truly begun." As soon as he finished speaking, Wong Lin's primordial spirit transformed into 100-jong-long ancient thunder dragon that towered in the sky. It coiled through layer upon layer of seven-colored lightning, releasing the overwhelming pressure of his newly attained yang solid realm. Blood Ancestor, whose cultivation had now fallen to the peak yang solid realm because of his damaged origin and the suppression of the heavenly tribulation, became numb with terror when he saw this scene. He gritted his teeth and cried out in horror. What kind of monster are you?" Wong Lin responded in the voice of the thunder dragon, tearing through the void as he spoke. "I should be thanking Senior for the tremendous origin energy provided by your blood body, which allowed Wong to reach the yang solid realm, without giving Blood Ancestor any chance to escape." The thunder dragon raised its enormous claws, carrying countless bolts of black lightning and seven-colored thunder, and slammed them directly toward the blood-colored figure. Using his newly forged yang solid primordial spirit, Wong Lin unleashed the full power of the slaughter luo art and softly shouted as he cast the immobilization technique. A single word of "immobilize" resounded. The power of the technique caused Blood Ancestor's body to freeze in midair. Immediately afterward, the slaughter luo art, combined with the ancient thunder dragon's violent tail strike, slammed directly into Blood Ancestor's chest. Blood Ancestor coughed up blood as his body cracked and exploded, with his origin severely damaged. His cultivation plummeted. Blood Ancestor screamed in pain before frantically exploding into countless droplets of blood and exhausting the last of his strength to cast a secret blood escape technique. Fleeing beyond the range of the heavenly tribulation, Wong Lin did not immediately pursue him. Instead, he allowed the thunder dragon to open its mouth and swallow the final layer of the heavenly tribulation clouds before returning to his physical body beneath the ground. The 1,000-jong fragment of land had now been tempered by lightning into a sturdy immortal treasure. Wong Lin opened his eyes. The pure and abundant origin energy of a yang solid cultivator shimmered within his deep gaze. His consciousness connected directly with his ancient god main body hidden within the all-heaven star system. The two bodies merged once again. Wong Lin waved his sleeve and collected the fragment of land that had become his life-bound immortal treasure. He then calmly looked toward the direction in which Blood Ancestor had fled. Blood Ancestor, the debt between us will be settled in full the next time we meet. With that, he continued the pursuit, while chasing Blood Ancestor through the void of the Thunder Immortal realm. Blood Ancestor was driven into a desperate situation. He ferociously threw out 2 blood spheres and cast Blood Explosion, destroying the illusion of the Thunder Dragon formed from Wong Lin's primordial spirit. However, Wong Lin's primordial spirit immediately transformed into a storm of lightning that tightly surrounded Blood Ancestor. Sensing Blood Ancestor's wavering state of mind, Wong Lin launched a psychological attack directly at his opponent's weakness. He informed Blood Ancestor that Blood Crystal had already been reduced to ashes, that Zi Xin had been destroyed without a trace, and that the Blood Pavilion had fallen into his hands. He also deliberately implied that after Yao Shishui was revived, returning to Blood Crystal would be no different from a lamb walking into a tiger's jaws. These words shattered Blood Ancestor's psychological defenses, causing the blood-colored radiance protecting his body to fluctuate and crack. Seizing the opportunity, Wong Lin's primordial spirit transformed into lightning rain and pierced through the blood-colored radiance, entering Blood Ancestor's physical body and turning his own body into the battlefield. Wong Lin poured out his entire yang solid cultivation and abundant origin energy, restraining and tearing apart Blood Ancestor's primordial spirit from within, intending to drag his enemy into mutual destruction beneath the final bolt of the heavenly tribulation. Facing the threat of death, Blood Ancestor spat out a large mouthful of blood and cast the secret technique, Blood Seal. The blood transformed into a sealing net that imprisoned Wong Lin's primordial spirit inside his body, allowing Blood Ancestor's battered primordial spirit to escape and flee. Trapped inside Blood Ancestor's physical body, Wong Lin utilized the destructive lightning to shatter the blood seal. The lightning bombarded Blood Ancestor's body and blasted his primordial spirit out. The heavenly tribulation ended. Wong Lin collected Blood Ancestor's physical body and controlled the ancient Thunder Dragon primordial spirit to carry the body back to the 1,000-jong fragment of land. He returned his primordial spirit to his body, collected Blood Ancestor's physical body, and transformed the 1,000-jong land into a tiny grain of sand, swallowing it into his abdomen as his life-bound magic treasure. With his cultivation firmly stabilized at the yang solid realm, Wong Lin spread his divine sense throughout the void. He transformed into a streak of meteoric light, tearing through space as he pursued Blood Ancestor's crippled primordial spirit with a single determination: root out the weeds completely and leave no future trouble. Realizing that powerful cultivators such as Blood Ancestor, Tian Yunzi, and Ling Tianao were not invincible, Wong Lin closed his eyes, circulated his origin energy, and cast the ancient divine ability shrinking the earth into an inch. With a single step, he tore apart the endless distance and suddenly appeared in front of Blood Ancestor, blocking his escape route. Facing Wong Lin, whose body was overflowing with origin energy as he unleashed the Yellow Springs origin energy, Soul Banner, and Great Seal of the Immortal Realm, Blood Ancestor fell into complete despair. Wong Lin coldly used the Soul Banner to completely absorb Blood Ancestor's primordial spirit into the 3-jong-wide banner, officially bringing this dangerous life and death battle to an end. Wong Lin withdrew the Soul Banner and the grain of sand containing the Great Seal of the Immortal Realm into his body, then headed straight toward the next fragment of the continent and eventually emerged from the Thunder Immortal Realm. At the same time, Li Yuan was being relentlessly pursued by 3 cultivators. His body was torn and battered, leaving him in an extremely miserable state. This scene also serves as the opening of episode 152 of Renegade Immortal. With this, the special movie episode, The Immortal-Slaying Battle, comes to an end. The broadcast date for this special episode has not yet been announced. But according to the storyline, it should be released very soon.